Vyasa Media Network.
I still do impressive things, but I do it because I choose to, because I'm curious about it, because I want to do them instead of do them to impress you.
Yeah. It's the same thing as like teaching your child to say thank you or sorry or greet somebody. It's usually not because the child wants to, but because you have sort of like forced him that this is the way to be.
Yeah.
This is how you respect people.
Yes.
So what,
Oh my gosh, go ahead. No, I'm sorry. I have a
No,
perfect
tell me.
example. I have a perfect example of that.
Yes.
So we all have programming. And I've been traveling India for the past 2 months doing these speaking events, and it was fascinating for me to be immersed in the culture and to experience my programming natively and in the Indian programming natively, right? One of the things that came up was, in the Indian culture, you never say no directly to someone, ever. And for me in the United States, in my culture, it's a yes or a no. And if you don't say one of those things, no is very acceptable. If you don't say one of those things,
that is
you're disrespected. And we may not continue a relationship because you disrespect me. So when I had a request early in this trip, I would make a request, and then no answer would come for days at a time. I would say, well, I'm being disrespected. But then it occurred to me, and this is the beauty of working these for as long as, once you get practiced at seeing programs running and understanding how we're wired, you see them very quickly. And I quickly saw that feeling of disrespect was a program that was running for me. So I could let that go, and I could be curious about why no answer. And I realized that no answer, right, not having any answer at all, is very much the answer. Like no answer is no. And once I understood that, everything ran along smoothly. So I'd make a request, it would be yes, everything would get done right away. If it was no, I'd get no answer. I'd say, it's a no. So no disrespect, no anything. But that's the kind of thing that culturally we get our programs that can be a problem if we're going to interact with each other, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when you do businesses interculturally, the programs come into effect quite a bit. I mean, you are into the space, and you said, because I have been working on this for so long, it is easy for me to recognize somebody else's program. But then for a person, let's say you were not working in this particular space and you were still going on those speaking tours, then it would have been so difficult for you, because each time, your ego would have been hurt. Oh,
the ego. It would have been a thorn in my paw, a thorn in my hand. It would have been so aggravating. And it's just programming. Like, it's just the way it is. There is no right or wrong. It's just, I'm programmed for this. This person's programmed for this. And they're opposing. There are differences. But once understood, it's fine.
Vyasa Media Network.